Well, I worked as an amateur musician for most of my life, and that was beginning to come to an end as the gear got heavier and the gigs dried up. And I felt I wanted to use my music knowledge and love of music in some way, and hospital radio seemed to be a good outlet for that. And that's manifested itself in for many of the 10 years I've been here, that I've helped out or run the music library, putting in new stuff onto the system. So that's why I joined Seaside Hospital Radio, and I've enjoyed it. Had a few sabbaticals from it, but I've enjoyed it.
I think some of the best parts of Seaside has actually been able to take it out into the community. For nearly 20 years we hosted the Ada bathtub race, and we go around to do a number of school fetes and do the public address, etc. for them. It's a great way of actually publicising hospital radio, because a lot of what we do is featured in the hospital, so people don't actually get to see it, and a lot of people don't really associate a hospital with having its own radio station. It's very important to actually get the publicity, and also it helps us earn money because we get donations for doing these sort of events.
Hi, I'm Margaret and I'm a member of Seaside Hospital Radio. I first joined in 2001, so I've been a member for just over 11 years, and I'm now on the committee, and I'm responsible for being in touch with new inquirers and feeding them into the system of our intake, if you like. I present 2 shows a week, one on Sunday evening which is called Reflections, which is hymns and things, and one on Monday evening which is called Monday Mix, and that's a couple of hours of very mixed music, all sorts.
So I first got involved by seeing an advert in the local paper for a studio engineer, and as I'd been working in electronics and recently retired, I thought that would be a suitable activity to get involved in. Came along and liked the look of the place, and have been here ever since, which is about 12 years now.
Being part of the radio team, nothing particular that I haven't done any long broadcasting, but for example when Stuart did his 24-hour broadcasting, I was part of that at some point, which is that was probably my proudest moment. But just being part of the station as a general rule, I think it's fantastic. We're a fantastic team, we do a very good job, and I'm just proud to be here because I met people of my passion in music, which is, that's what keeps us going, so that's it.
Well, charities, as we are totally dependent upon fundraising. I won't say it was my most successful in terms of what we raised, but we did run a programme that got us quite a lot of publicity. Cliff Richard, who was one of my heroes as a kid, he was decided that he would no longer make records. He'd got taken off the playlist of quite a number of radio stations, and that was his way of protesting. It all proved to be the storm in a teacup, and he continues to make records today. And we decided very much at the last minute to do some funny jingles and put a programme together playing just his music, and we called it the Cliff Richard Protest Show. It was all done very much in a hurry. It went out on air, and if I reach over here, we did get quite a good bit of publicity. This is the Brighton Evening August from September 2005. And if you can focus in that closely, you can see I'm on page 3. I've never been a page 3 girl before, but and we also had an email from Cliff's office saying that he actually would have done something for us that we could have played in the programme, but unfortunately he was away. I think he was out in the West Indies at one of his houses. So we nearly got there with that one. It did get other publicity as well, so that was quite an enjoyable thing, both the putting it all together and getting as far as that in the Evening Argus,
Well, there's been quite a lot over the years, but one that sticks out in my mind is a publicity event when we went from Newhaven to Dieppe, and we were entertaining the passengers on board. And I remember doing the show with Dave Vickery. I think it was a top 20 from a certain week. And then we had a meal on the boat coming back, and the one thing that quite funny, amusing, I thought, was that our board, publicity board, was left on the boat, so it went backwards and forwards to Dieppe on quite a few occasions afterwards before we picked it back up.
My very first live show, I was it's like I was like a rabbit in the headlights, and I was just left here on my own to do it. And it was my first, I guess it was my very first link, which came immediately after a song called "Stay With Me Baby" by Lorraine Ellison, which was in the film The Boat That Rocked. And there's a bit in there where one of the DJs plays that, and he's just been dumped by his girlfriend, and it's a really sad song. And then he does his voice link after that. And by curious coincidence, my very first voice link was immediately after that song.
Probably my most proudest moment is setting up, or helping to set up, the 24-hour broadcasting system, which we now use 24 hours a day, which has really boosted our listenership and really helped to improve the output that we produce here at Seaside, from music, of classical music right up to pop and jazz, everything speech-based, comedy, all sorts of content that we can now do because of the new system. So that's probably my proudest moment.